All right, guys, we are back. Me and Nash are back. We're hanging out in the shop and working on this next video. I wanted to start this video by kind of touching on the elephant in the room on my last video. A lot of comments, people weren't happy about the riding and XYZ and so on and so forth. And I do understand it, especially in the Tug Hill region. There are a lot of yahoos, as people will call him, and things do go bad, you know, from time to time up there. So I get where everyone's coming from. What I don't agree with is, you know, a lot of the, you know, wait until you run on head on with someone, this, that, and the other thing. Listen, yes, I do ride faster to my friends, and I get that, and the sport in itself is dangerous. So pretty much what I wanted to touch on is, if you watch the videos, every blind hill, blind corner, anything that we can't see past, you know, 75 feet, we're always to the right. And I'm not gonna get into detail, and I'm not gonna go into too far in this, but I just wanted to kind of touch on this. I've been stuck behind slower groups where there are beginner guys or girls in the back, and you're going around blind left-hand corners all the way to the left side. And I can promise you that's kind of not us. You know, as long as we could see a ways away, yeah, I will use the whole trail up, but it's just being in control. I, again, used to ride professionally. The guys that I'm riding with have ridden for forever. So I get where you guys are coming from, but I promise you, it's not us that you have to worry about. So, you know, if you guys want to keep making the comments, whatever, I'm just going to keep erasing them because I really don't have time for it, nor do I agree with it. But anyway, so moving on. So now to the topic of this conversation. Axys versus Matryx. Polaris came out in 2021 with this new model. So that's, I think, kind of people are thinking that it's a new chassis, and it's not. It's just a new model. Now, does it feel like a different chassis? Yes. But the chassis itself, and that includes the bulkhead, the A-arms, the chassis, the tunnel, everything is the same. It is the same as an Axys. The way the motor sits, everything like that is the same. And I'm going blind by my own light that I have here, but that's all right. So I almost didn't snow check new Matryx because I like my Axys so much. Looking back at that now, I'm so happy that I didn't, or that I did snow check and that I didn't pass on this, because just what they did to the panels and how you sit and how skinny this sled is, it's mind-blowing. It makes it feel like a totally different chassis because you have so much room to move around, to lean into the corner, to put your weight into a corner. Whatever you kind of want to do or want to move around, you have tons of room for it. And now, I came from a Ski-Doo to a Polaris, and I thought that about the Axys. So now me saying that about the Matryx, it's like, poof. It's hard to explain, but now that I've switched back and forth, especially from like a Matryx back to, you know, a buddy's Axys, letting them try my sled and stuff, it's unbelievable. It shocks me that they are the same chassis still. So with that being said, it still performs the same as an Axys. It still feels the same. So I see a lot of guys that are like, well, I don't want to give up my Axys because I love it so much, and, you know, get on something that I'm not sure. If you love your Axys, you're gonna love this 10 times more. I promise you that. And not just because of the maneuverability that you have on the sled, but I'm gonna get to a couple other things. I have a whole board written down, so I wasn't just rambling here. I'm gonna turn this heater off. So yeah, so super happy that I made the jump. It's just skinnier, it's better. I have a friend that has two replacement hips, and he got on, he's like, wow, just because he could keep his knees together and not spread out, it helps him a ton. Wind protection, 10 times better than the Axys. I am one, and I've touched on this in earlier videos, that I am one to get cold, you know, quite often, unless I'm really working the sled. This thing, I rarely ever get cold. You know, it goes, I have the mid windshield, and it blows right over my head, and everything on my body, I don't think even gets touched by the wind. It's actually super impressive. So warmth wise, I think it's 10 times warmer than the Axys. Hand warmers, everyone knows that the Matryx has smart warmers. So you have high, medium, and low, and you could set what temperature you want high, medium, and low to be, which is awesome. And when they're on high, so again, my hands get cold. So when they're on high, I am fine. You know what I mean? Normally I used to run gauntlets 24/7. Now I only have to run it when it gets like really cold. Like this upcoming weekend I'm going up, gonna have gauntlets on. So smart warmers, awesome. It's like a great concept. They are always warm, and it's awesome that you could set the temperatures. Storage. So you have, if you have a VR1, if you have the fancy gauge with the 7S, you know that gauge comes forward. There's a bunch of storage in there. That does stay pretty dry. I did get some kind of snow dust in there, but I don't really think you could 100% seal anything off unless it was, you know, within like a zipped bag. So that's great. I have yet to fill that up, and I always carry extra, you know, neck things, gloves, goggles, GoPros, batteries, you know, everything that I need to do these videos. So these days I'm carrying a bunch of stuff around. The underseat storage is nice. It's not dry, and they specified that. There's a bag that you have to buy to go in there if you want to make it a dry storage. But it's a decent size. I mean, if you have, you know, if you don't want to buy a Polaris bag and you just want to, as long as it's waterproof, I mean, it's a decent amount of storage. You could put like a kid-sized lunchbox in there. I'm trying to see if I have anything that's about that size, but I don't, not near me. So storage-wise, it's pretty nice. On my Pro S, I had the windshield bag, but that was extra. And then the bag behind the seat, which came with a Pro S. It didn't come with the XCR. So I think storage-wise, I think you have more storage than you did on the Matryx, or on the Axys. Yes, you lose, like I think it's like a gallon of gas, which some guys that's a big deal too, some guys it's not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm always the first one out of gas anyway, so I gotta stop and get gas regardless. I always fill up at gas stations when I see them, just in case. But yeah, I mean, compared to the Axys, I would never want to get back on one, you know, ever again. So if you are riding an Axys and you were thinking about maybe snow checking a new one, you know, a Matryx model, I 100% recommend doing it. Also, I'm just sitting here because I don't have any sleds here. Nothing is at my house. Everything's up north. So I can't even like, you know, video compare for you guys. It's just, it's me and Nash hanging. So I know it's not my normal thing, but this is kind of what we got to do for here. Also, as you guys know, I went from the Pro XC chassis, a Pro S, so the external shock in the rear, beaver tail, some people call it, to an Indy tunnel this year. So a straight tunnel, a traditional tunnel with the Pro CC. For me, like the Pro CC 10 times better. And that's really hard for me to say because I love that Pro XC. I thought it was, up to this sled, the best sled that I've ever ridden, trail sled. I just think for the bigger bumps, you know, the square edges or like an ice edge, I think they just work a little bit better. It is a coupled suspension. It's not an uncoupled like the Pro XC. So I think that has a big play in it. So I'm super happy that I went back to a traditional tunnel because that is kind of where my riding style fits. I know a lot of guys want my opinion on the Assault, the Matryx Assault to my Matryx VR1. And I am gonna touch on a couple things that I saw, and I only rode Chris's sled for 5 miles maybe, and the trails were perfect. There was no bumps, there was no nothing. So it's hard for me to give 100% kind of how I feel, but these are the simple things that I felt. For starters, the riser for me, way too tall. If you guys have been following along, you know I hate tall risers. I don't like the feel of them. I don't like the feedback that they give into the sled or they give back to you. So for me, starters, I would go drop a riser. Second thing I noticed, and it was at night and it was snowing. Was it snowing? Yeah, it was snowing a little bit. I'm like, is my butt wet? Like, did I get, you know? So I was slipping and sliding all over the place. And we got back to where we were staying, and I was touching both of the seats. The Assault seat is so much slipperier than the VR1. It surprised me that they even used a different material, but they did, for sure, 110% sure. I haven't felt another Assault though, so I don't know if it's just Chris's, but between Chris's and my sled, the seat is so much slipperier. And second, or third off, I should say, the one thing I did notice is ski lift. So he does have a bigger lug track than me and a longer track. So traction is gonna be a little bit better, but that is also an uncoupled suspension. So when that weight transfers back, it's just gonna keep going back. There's nothing to stop it and force it to go forward. That's what a coupled suspension is. So coming out of corners and stuff like that, that thing bites, and I mean, you'll just keep carrying the skis. Which, if you want like a playful sled and something to have a bunch of fun on, great. But I could literally go from my sled and jump on Chris's and ride it just as hard and not really notice a difference. They do a great job. It's a 146, but it's got the tipped up rails. So really your track pad or your track print on the ground is pretty much what a 137 is. So it's not like it's gonna feel like it's you got a 18-wheeler or a low bed behind you, because it's not. Yes, the track's longer, but it's not. And the thing boogies, great. He had 6 miles on it and got a good mile an hour out of it, even with a 1.6 track. So, I mean, again, if you have an Axys Assault and you're like, oh, I love this thing, I don't want to get it, do it. Sign up, sign on the dotted line, because you're not gonna be disappointed at all. It's just a step up. Polaris really did a good job with the sled, so I hope that helps. I'm gonna kind of go into like some stuff that I think about my current sled and my build and what I think I'm gonna change and stuff like that. And I'm also gonna post a video of me. We just got I just came out of break, and he's got like 415 miles or so in like 14 hours. So I'm assuming he came out of break-in. I could feel the difference. It's just much crispier, in some spots. And so we were riding the one day, and I was out front, and I rode hard for like 11 minutes and, kind of gave her all she had so I could really get a baseline and a feel of what I like and what I don't like. And there's not much that I don't like. The only thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some preload out of my front shocks, or springs, not that I run a lot, but I'm just gonna try and get that front end to lay down a little bit more. So it's a little bit flatter in the corners. And other than that, Bruce, my shock guy, Bruce Gaspardi Sr. from Southside Polaris, if you guys ever need any shock work or anything, give him a call. Great guy, super knowledgeable, does all my shocks, my Fox in the front and my Walker Evans in the back. He actually called me and we were talking about a couple things, and he's gonna, once I have time, whenever that may be, I'm gonna send him my rear back, and he's gonna work on a couple other things that I don't like. That when he did it, he actually, they changed something within the shocks this year and he wasn't able to do it. So he called me and said, hey, how do you like them? And I said, I like them, but there's one thing I don't like. And he said, yeah, I know. So when you get a chance, pull them out and send them back to me. So we're gonna try that. Other than that, that sled is awesome. I feel right at home on it. Everything's great. Everything's working just as it should. And I'm just enjoying it. Luckily we got some snow now and we can get up north and really get some miles in. So I'm videoing this Thursday. It's gonna be up tonight. And then I am leaving midday tomorrow to head back up. So again, if you guys see me up there, stop, say hi. I will chat away with you. I will give you opinions on stuff. I will, sit there and just BS with you guys. So don't be afraid to say hi. And that's about it. But I'm gonna post this video of me riding, super hard for 11 minutes. You can watch it, not watch it. It's pretty cool. We're giving her the juice. So it felt good to get out there and really beat on Bruno and see how he held up. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to go into detail about anything else, about anything between the Axys and the Matryx, let me know, and I will be happy to answer. You guys know that I do answer, pretty much every question for the most part, or comment that is on, in the comments. So make sure to put it down there. Me and Nash are gonna go back to actual work right now, right, bud? And then that's it. I hope to see you guys up there. I hope you guys are getting some snow and you guys are enjoying riding. And enjoy the season. It's not gonna be here forever. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Say bye, bud. Everyone loves you. Everyone loves you. Think you're the best thing in the world. Because you are, right? All right, guys. See ya.